content that we are going to share in this slide are company background, management approach, segmental report, conclusion of segmental report, basis of interim report, accounting policies, interim report types, period for interim report, and lastly, adjustment. RHB Banking Group is a multinational regional financial services provider that is committed to delivering complete solutions to customers through differentiated segment offerings and an ecosystem that supports simple, fast, seamless customer experiences underpinned by a cohesive and inspired workforce and the relationship built with stakeholders. Now, moving forward to corporate milestone, it starts with Bank Berhad from 1913 until 1997. Then, there is Sign Bank Berhad, which is known as UMBC Bank from 1959 until 1999. Next, there is DCB Bank Berhad from 1966 until 1997. There is also Utama Banking Group from 1976 until 2003. Lastly, before it is known as RHB Bank Berhad, from 1983 until 2016, it is known as RHB Banking Group. Next, I'm going to share about the group's core businesses. Number 1, retail banking. In there are insurance, wealth management, hire purchase, cards, and unsecured loans as well as secure loans. Number 2, wholesale banking. It's comprised 3 core businesses segments, namely group investment banking, group corporate banking, and group treasury and global markets. Number 3, business and transaction banking. It offers a wide range of business solutions ranging from loans and financing, deposits, cash management solutions, trade finance and services. Number 4, Sharia banking. It provides Sharia compliant banking and financial services through 4 business units, which are retail banking, corporate and investment banking, business and transaction banking, and Islamic treasury. Number 5 is asset management. It manages a full set of investment services and offerings. Number 6, insurance. It provides general insurance for retail, SME, commercial, and corporate customers. International business. We comprise our overseas commercial and banking portfolio. Lastly, RHB Singapore. With RHB Singapore, we are aiming to be the catalyst bank for SMEs, advising both business and personal financial needs.
Next, for the management approach, it will consist of 3 main points, which are factors to consider having a segment reporting, type of segments, and to identify the chief of decision making and its responsibilities. There are 4 factors to consider having a segment reporting. Firstly, nature of the product or the services, nature of production or services process, type of customer, and method to provide the services or the product. For the nature of the product or the services, although RHB is fully integrated financial services in Malaysia, RHB nature is on both of the product and services, and it has 7 core business that had been mentioned by Syafiqah Husna. Next, for nature of production or services process, it refers to how their services and product are provided. Services that had been provided both face-to-face and online are RHB Merchant Terminal, RHB Bizpower SME Property Loan, RHB Corporate Card, and RHB Liability Insurance. For type of customers, it refers to how they classify their customers. For RHB Bank, one of it was based on geographic segmentation, as RHB was not only located in Malaysia but also located in Singapore, Thailand, Brunei, Cambodia, Laos, Myanmar, and Vietnam. Last but not least, as a method to provide the product or the services, it refers to how the product and services are being delivered to their clients. For RHB Bank, they anticipate the customer's need and preference before offer product and services as the client's requirement. RHB had 5 types of segments, which were Group Retail Banking, Group Business Banking, Group Wholesale Banking, Group International Banking, and Support Center, and others. Group Retail Banking focused on providing products and services to individual customers. In the Group Business Banking, it caters for small funding needs and deposit collection from small and medium-sized enterprise and wholesale clients. For Group Wholesale Banking, it consists Group Corporate Banking and Group Investment Banking, Group Treasury, and Global Markets. Next, Group International Banking focus on providing commercial banking related products and services tailored to the specific needs of the customers in foreign countries, while support centers and others comprise result from other business segments in the group. So, what is Chief of Decision Making? Chief of Decision Making is a person whose function is to assess the performance of the various segments and decide on allocation of resources to the segments. There are a total of 18 Chief of Decision Making in the RHB, and 4 of them are Yang Bahagia Datuk Khairul Ramli, which is Group Managing Director of RHB Banking Group and Managing Director of RHB Bank Berhad. Next, Tuan Syed Ahmad Taufiq Albar. He is Head at Group International Business of RHB Banking Group. Other than that, there is Nik Rizal Kamil Tan Sri Nik Ibrahim Kamil, which is Group Chief Financial Officer at RHB Banking Group. Lastly, Rakesh Kaur, the Head Group Retail Banking at RHB Banking Group. The responsibilities of this Chief of Decision Making include supervise and assess their management performance to determine whether the business is being properly managed. Next, the CODM need to understand the principle of risk of the company's business. Other than that, they also need to ensure that the strategic plan of the company support long-term value creation and include strategies on economic, environmental, and social considerations. Lastly, they need to set the risk appetite which the board expect management need to operate and ensure that there is an appropriate risk management framework to identify, manage, evaluate, analyze, and significant.
Moving on to the next part, which is Reportio Segmental Report. First of all, we need to identify the reportable and non-reportable segment. How to do that? Let me explain. There are 2 processes of identifying reportable and non-reportable segment. First is by using 10% threshold test, and second is by using 75% threshold test. By using 10% threshold test, there are 3 bases that can be used, which is first, revenue test that consists of external and inter-segment sale. Second, operating profit test, which combine reportable profit of all segment that reporting profit and all losses of segment that reporting loss. And third, identifiable asset test. In order to determine whether the segment is reportable segment, the result from the test must be 10% or more of the amount based on basis used. If the segment does not meet 10% threshold criteria, it can be included as an all other segment category, or it can be combined with other similar segment which also a non-reportable segment for the purpose of fulfill 10% test. Moving on to the next process, which is 75% rule. For this rule, the external revenue from the reportable segment of the company must at least 75% of the entity total revenue. If the criteria of 75% threshold is not met, the company must identify other reportable segment even if it's not met 10% criteria. The result of 10% rule for RHB Bank Berhad using operating profit basis shown that 4 over 6 of the segment are reportable segment. As you can see, the non-reportable segment are business banking that shown the result of 7.79% and international business 0.33%. For 75% rule, the reportable segment of RHB Bank Berhad, which is retail banking, CBIB, treasury and global markets, and support center and others, shown that the result of 80%, which met the criteria of 75% rule. The company no need to identify additional segment.
Here is the new reportable segments as at 31st December 2020. As a result from the previous calculations, there are 4 reportable segments to be included in the segments report. The segments are Group Retail Bank, Group CBIB, Treasury and Global Markets, Sports Center, and others, while the other 2 segments, which are Group Business Banking and Group International Banking, will be disclosed in other segments because these 2 are classified as non-reportable segments.
Lastly, for the last part in segment reporting, I will explain about the advantages and disadvantages of segment reporting. The first advantage is better understanding into performance of the company. This is because segment reporting will show us which operating segment are contributing more to the company. Next is helping in making a better decision making. Segment reporting enables the chief of decision making to make better decision in allocating the company resources because each segment will show their own profit and how well their performance was. As for disadvantages, firstly, this segmental reporting will encounter allocation problem. The allocation problem occurs when there is a common cost needed to be allocated to 2 or more operating segments. The last disadvantages is increase the company operating cost because segment reporting involve cost of disclosure that will increase the company operating cost as the company need to incur more costs to provide additional information.
Moving on to the second part of this presentation, which is basis of preparation of interim report. The financial statement of RHB Bank have been prepared under the Historical Cost Convention as modified by the Revaluation of Financial Assets and Financial Liabilities, including derivative instrument at fair value through profit or loss, except those as disclosed in the Summary of Significant Reporting Policies and in accordance with Malaysia Financial Reporting Standard (MFRS) and International Financial Reporting Standard (IFRS). Next is accounting policies used in the interim report. The first accounting policy used in the RHB Bank is MFRS 116 Property, Plant and Equipment. Property, plant and equipment are stated at cost less accumulated depreciation and impairment loss. Costs include expenditure that is directly attributable to the acquisition of the items. Subsequent costs are included in the asset carrying amount organized as a separate asset as appropriate. Only when it is probable that future economic benefits associated with the item will flow to the bank and the cost of the item can be measured. The carrying amount of the replaced part is derecognized. All other repair and maintenance costs are recognized as spent in income statements during the financial period in which they are incurred. The second accounting policy used in the RHB Bank is MFRS 16 leases. Under MFRS 16, a lease is a contract or part of a contract that conveys the right to control the use of an identified asset for a period of time in exchange for consideration. FAR 16 eliminates the classification of leases by the lessee as either finance leases on balance sheet or operating leases off balance sheet. FAR 16 requires a lessee to recognize a right of use of the underlying asset and a lease liability reflecting future lease payment for most leases.
The type of interim report that has been prepared by RHB Bank Berhad is quarterly report. This statement includes statement of comprehensive income, statement of financial position, statement of changes in equity, and statement of cash flow. The statement is prepared as at 30 June 2020 and immediately preceding year 2019. Next, I'm going to identify the period of current and comparative interim report for each statement prepared by RHB Bank Berhad. Please note that this period is based on second quarter report of the company. The statement include is statement of comprehensive income, statement of financial position, statement of changes in equity, and statement of cash flow. For statement of profit and loss and other comprehensive income, the reporting date of current interim report is 30 June 2020 with the reporting period of 1st April 2020 until 30 June 2020. The cumulative period is 1st January until 30 June 2020. For comparative interim report, the date is similar as current interim report but in the year of 2019. Next, for statement of financial position, statement of changes in equity, and statement of cash flow, the reporting date and period are similar. Thus, I've combined it together. As you can see, the reporting date for current interim report is 30 June 2020 with the reporting period of 1st January 2020 until 30 June 2020. Comparative interim report shown the same reporting date and period as current interim report but in the year of 2019.
There are two adjustments by RHB we had proposed. Number 1, RHB Bank Berhad disposed one of its building amount 12 million. There is neither gain nor loss in the said transaction. The original value of PPE is 1,8,645,000 ringgit. Since there is disposal of building amount 12 million ringgit, thus the new PPE value changed to 996,985,000 ringgit. The second one is the interest rate of borrowing costs had been wrongly recorded as 8% instead of 6%. Since the calculated interest rate had been wrongly recorded, therefore the borrowing costs had reduced from 1,280,545,000 ringgit to 1,280,535,000 ringgit. Hence, the new balance amount for our HB Bank Berhad financial statement is 262,019,650,000 ringgit.